in a manner that is disrespectful. As far as possible, you are requested to remain seated throughout the ceremony. Graduates and guests are reminded that you are not to leave the auditorium until the ceremony has ended and the academic procession has left. In the unlikely event of an emergency, please remain calm. Take time now to identify the exit points and signs closest to you. Please also note the ushers identifiable by the purple sashes and lanyards with the word usher on them, who will assist you with directions. The security staff in uniform outside the venue will also direct you in the case of an emergency. Please stand for the academic procession.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I constitute this a congregation of Rhodes University. Please be seated.
The Chancellor, the Honorable Justice Lexham Party, the Chairperson of the Rhodes University Council, Judge Gerald Bloom, and other members of our council, our honorary graduate, Honorable Chief Justice Zondo, an epitome of human decency, grace, and gentleness. Mama Zondo, the University Public Orator, Distinguished Professor Paul Malem, Deputy Vice Chancellors, Deans, Acting Registrar, Heads of Academic Department and Directors of Administrative Divisions, academic and support staff, President and other members of the Student Representative Council, proud parents, guardians, siblings, and friends of our graduates, honored guests, and most important of all, our graduates. It is a signal honor for me to welcome you all to the second of 6 Autumn 2023 graduation ceremonies of Rhodes University. On behalf of our Chancellor, the University Council, and the entire Rhodes University community, I offer our warmest and proud congratulations to each one of you, our graduates, on your graduation today. Your path to this glorious moment might have been long, difficult, and circuitous. Indeed, for many, it is neither straight nor smooth. But you have made it, and well done. We applaud and commend those of you who are first in their family to earn a university degree. This is without a doubt a truly proud and special moment for you and your family. I wish to call out for special recognition the local Makhanda graduates, most especially those who have come through our university's interventions to improve the quality of learning and teaching in the public schools in Makhanda. Thanks to the sterling work of our Community Engagement Office, GADRA, Mrs. Maggie Keaton, and Dr. Ashley Westerway, significantly more young people of Makhanda are able to gain admission to Rhodes University than ever before. This year, a total of 50 graduates who will be receiving their qualifications have come to Rhodes University through GADRA and the bridging program we established in 2017. 41 of them will be receiving their bachelor's degree, and 9 will be receiving a postgraduate qualification. A fabulous achievement indeed. A special shout out goes to all the members of the Student Representative Council who are graduating this year. We are immensely proud of each and every one of them. Our hearts and thoughts go out to the families of our students who passed on in the course of their studies and whose graduation ceremony this would have been. Dear graduates, you'll be the first to acknowledge that you did not reach this important and joyous milestone in your life entirely on your own. No one accomplishes something as significant as this on their own. The old adage, it takes a village to raise a child, is as true today as it has always been. We extend heartfelt congratulations to your family members, partners, friends, guardians, and all those whose loving sacrifices, constant encouragement, and unfaltering support have sustained you throughout your years of study at Rhodes University. Your graduation today is their just reward, and they deserve a thunderous applause. We also acknowledge with much appreciation and gratitude the role played by your lecturers, tutors, lab technicians, cleaners, cooks, mentors, wardening and support staff in creating a rich and supportive intellectual, social, and fiscal environment conducive to your personal growth, development, and academic success. We extend our warm and heartfelt congratulations to the 5 recipients of the university's highest honor, the honorary degree. They are Honorable Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, Professor Janet Cherry, Honorable Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga, Professor Deborah Roberts, and Professor Helen Rees. Their personal journeys, selfless sacrifices, courage of their conviction, and achievements in public life and distinction in some field set them apart from others and serve as an inspiration worthy of emulation by all of us. Dear graduates, you have received an excellent education from one of the finest universities in the world. With your Rhodes education, you can embrace the future with utmost confidence, courage, and conviction. But always remember that the Rhodes University education you have received is not for your sole or private benefit. You are expected to use it to advance the greater common good. Your graduation today takes place at a particularly challenging time in the 29-year history of our young constitutional democracy. Our nation is at a crossroads. We have lost our direction, we have lost our way, and above all, we have lost our moral compass. We have elevated to positions of leadership and responsibility some people of questionable moral and ethical character. People who have no sense of the difference between right and wrong, just and unjust, fair and unfair, ethical and unethical, occupy positions of power and influence. The noble qualities and values of personal integrity, honesty, humility, compassion, respect for each other, fairness, empathy, selfless dedication to a common good, and willingness to put others first, that was so beautifully exemplified by President Nelson Mandela, have given way to moral depravity, untrammeled greed, rampant corruption, venality, deceit, profligacy, and duplicity. There is a growing and palpable impatience, disillusionment, and disenchantment with the social, economic, and political state of our nation. All around us, we see pervasive and debilitating poverty and deprivation existing alongside obscene and unbridled opulence and vulgar and ostentatious display of ill-gotten wealth. State-owned enterprises have been hollowed out and are teetering on the brink of collapse. And this is most graphically exemplified by Eskom and its interminable power crisis. In an 874-page report, the State Capture Commission has painstakingly documented how some state-owned enterprises conspired with some private companies to loot our resources for their own personal gain. Research shows that more than 80% of our children cannot read for meaning in any language, nor can they calculate with accuracy. Do these young people have a future in our society? And what kind of a future awaits these young people? There are concerted efforts calculated to malign, discredit, and delegitimize institutions of our constitutional democracy. The very foundational principles of our constitutional democracy are under fierce assault. And the very idea of a constitutional democracy is being intensely challenged, even by those who took an oath to obey, observe, uphold, and maintain the Constitution and all laws of the Republic. We are on a ruinous path. We are on a perilous path. This is a time for a deep reflection, a time to act in defense of our constitutional democracy, a time for accountability, and above all, a time for leadership. All these challenges notwithstanding, we should never allow apathy, despair, cynicism, or despondency to take root in our society. We cannot afford to lose hope. We cannot afford not to imagine a better society. And this is the significance of your graduation today. Hope, optimism, and a promise of a better tomorrow. Allow this hope and optimism to jolt you to act with courage, conviction, and boldness to make a positive change in our society. Young people like you have always been a catalyst for change in our country. I have great confidence in you and in your ability to lift our country out of the abyss into which it has descended. In a democracy, ordinary citizens are the last line of defense against any uncaring or tyrannical government. Those of you who have had the privilege of higher education carry a particular responsibility to lead with integrity and become the voice of the voiceless. As graduates of the university where leaders learn, you have so much to offer our ravaged society and broken world. Armed with the quality education you have received from this fine institution, and guided by our values of social justice, empathy, kindness, integrity, honesty, compassion, civility, and human solidarity, you can make a difference. You can pull this country away from the path of anarchy and destruction. There will be obstacles, there will be setbacks, and there will be mistakes and failures along the way. But you must learn from these and be resilient and resolute in your commitment to serve our society and humanity. Never for a moment doubt your capacity to make a positive change in our society. The education you have received from Rhodes University has prepared you for this. And never allow the fear of failure to drive you into the safety and placidity of inaction. You are more than equal to the challenges that will come your way. In the 6 graduation ceremonies of autumn 2023, a total of 1,849 students will receive their degrees, diplomas, and certificates. Of these, 1,124, or 61%, are undergraduate bachelor's degrees, and 725, or 39%, are postgraduate degrees, postgraduate diplomas, and postgraduate certificates. Of the 725 postgraduate students, 69 will be receiving their master's and 23 doctoral degrees. We have another graduation ceremony in October, which is exclusively for master's and doctoral graduates. Listen to this. 65% of the graduating students are female students. Malbongwe. Malbongwe. Kamala Makhosikazi. Maibongwe Mbokotho. And 11% are international students. With your graduation this afternoon, you join a special community of our alumni, extraordinary people who are making remarkable contributions and leading change in many and diverse fields of human endeavor. We will expect no less from you. We welcome you to this special and ever-growing community with whom you share deep affection for this fine institution. In the years to come, we will follow your growth and development and success as a professional with a keen interest, and will applaud you for the honor and credit you bring to your alma mater. May you look back on this glorious day of your graduation with great pride and warm memories, and may it serve as an inspiration and a springboard towards better and exciting things in life for you. At the end of this ceremony, when you are reunited with your loved ones, please give them a warm embrace and whisper these words in their ear. Thank you for all that you have done for me. We wish you much success, happiness, and fulfillment in the years ahead. Above all, we wish you moral courage to serve our society and humanity with humility, honesty, and integrity. To all of you, Mazal Tov. Asante sana, enkosi, ngiyalibuka, ngiyabonga, ndolibua, ngiyalibua, vielen Dank, ngiyathokoza, obrigado, inkom, shukran, merci beaucoup, tante grazie, baya danki, polsha spasiebo. Thank you very much.
From an impoverished childhood in a small KwaZulu-Natal town to becoming the foremost judicial figure in South Africa, heading the country's constitutional court. This has been the life path of Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. Growing up in Ikopo, the setting of Alan Paton's famous novel, Cry the Beloved Country, in which Paton describes the beauty of the surrounding landscape. However idyllic the countryside, it cannot have been an easy upbringing for the young Raymond Zondo. The third of 9 children, his mother a nurse aide who carried the whole burden of parenting, his father a migrant labourer in Johannesburg who gave little support to the large family. After matriculating at St. Mary's Seminary in Ikopo, the young man hoped to go to university, but at the same time was expected to find work so as to provide for the family, his mother having recently lost her job and exhausted her savings. Then came an act of generosity, making possible university study and changing his life. A local supermarket owner agreed to a loan in the form of monthly grocery vouchers for his mother. When Raymond Zondo went to settle the loan 3 years later, the man refused to accept repayment. A gesture always remembered. He still had to fund himself through university, gaining bursaries by working hard and securing good grades, and obtaining the first of his 5 law degrees at the University of Zululand. Then working at the Legal Resources Centre to secure funding for further study, first for an LLB at what was then the University of Natal, followed by 3 Master of Laws degrees through the University of South Africa in commercial law, labour law, and patent law. As part of his legal training, articles were undertaken at the firm of the renowned anti-apartheid activist Victoria Mkenge, who was brutally murdered by agents of the apartheid state in 1985, and after whom a Rhodes residence is named. These articles preceding his admission as an attorney in 1989. There soon followed some notable legal assignments. In 1991 and 1992, serving on 2 committees of a commission of inquiry chaired by Justice Goldstone, tasked with investigating the widespread political violence of the 1980s, which cost around 20,000 lives. Of the 3 master's degrees, the one in labour law can perhaps be considered the most important, as he soon became a renowned labour lawyer. In 1994, serving on a ministerial task team that drafted a bill which passed through Parliament as the Labour Relations Act the following year. And in 1996, becoming the first chairperson of the governing body of the CCMA, the Commission for Conciliation, Mediation and Arbitration. The following year, appointed as a judge in the Labour Court, soon rising to be its judge president, holding that position for 10 years, during which time he oversaw the appointment of a record number of women and black judges, while also gaining a reputation for taking very seriously the rights of workers, ensuring that their voice be heard in labour disputes. In time came elevation to the Constitutional Court, first as an acting member in 2011 and the following year as a full member, rising to become Deputy Chief Justice in 2017 and last year appointed as Chief Justice. During these 12 years on the court, writing over 50 judgments. Then came the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture, chaired by Justice Zondo. A mammoth undertaking. It sat for over 400 days of hearings, beginning in August 2018, involving more than 300 witnesses, with 1,438 persons or entities implicated in corruption. The Commission eventually producing 6 final reports, each comprising a number of volumes, the full report amounting to a total of about 5,500 pages. As chairperson, he exercised enormous patience, giving all witnesses a fair hearing, while also displaying relentless tenacity in his pursuit of the truth. Before his appointment to the Constitutional Court, the General Counsel of the Bar made a submission to the Judicial Services Commission supporting his appointment, emphasising his reputation for integrity and ethical behaviour and his firm commitment to advancing the cause of a constitutional state founded on constitutional principles. And just last year, the same General Counsel awarded Justice Zondo the Sydney and Felicia Kentridge Award for service to law in South Africa, to be followed a few months later by the Ahmed Kathrada Excellent in Leadership Award. There is, too, his insistence on the independence of the judiciary, believing it to be crucial for the country's democracy, and his strong defence of that independence at a time when the judiciary has come under attack from some high-profile politicians in recent months. In reflecting upon his own life, the Chief Justice has never forgotten the act of generosity by the supermarket owner whose loan made possible university study, and so too, in time, this glittering career. In his own small way, he says, he tries to follow that example of generosity. But he also has another message for young people coming from impoverished backgrounds. Don't just sit there and do nothing and say you are poor, he implores. Be proactive. Today, Rhodes University is proud to honour Chief Justice Zondo, described as a fearless judicial leader, as a staunch upholder of the Constitution, regarded as one of the most influential figures in the development of South African labour law, and as one of the founding fathers of the country's system of democratic labour dispute resolution. A person to whom the country owes a huge debt for his leadership in the fight against corruption. And surely a source of inspiration to any young person who has experienced hardship in their early years. His career a demonstration that such hardship need not be an insurmountable barrier to a life of high achievement. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honour to request you to confer on Chief Justice Raymond Zondo the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Thank you for those wonderful words from the public orator, which described my journey. Chancellor of this wonderful university, Justice Party, Chairperson of Council and other members of Council, Vice Chancellor, Professor Mabizela, Deputies Vice Chancellor, members of the Senate, Mrs. Zondo, who is present here with us, members of the academic staff, President of the SRC and other members of the SRC present, today's graduates and their parents and family members who are present here, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is for me a great honor and privilege to be here and to be part of this graduation ceremony this afternoon. It is my first time to be at this university, and I'm happy that my first visit happens on a day of joy and celebration. I wish to take this opportunity to congratulate today's graduates for their hard work, which culminates in their obtaining their degrees today. I also congratulate their parents, family members, or guardians who are here today to support them and to share in their joy as they receive their degrees. These are people who have walked with them on their journeys for a long time and who have been with them through hard times and good times. And it must be a great day for them to be together today as the graduates receive their degrees. All the hard work over the years has paid off, and they must enjoy this day to the fullest. Excuse me. I wish you graduates all of the best as you continue with your further studies or as you enter the world of work, as the case may be. Thanks and appreciation are also due to their professors and lecturers who helped them to reach this historic milestone in their lives. I need to time myself. I have only 15 minutes, which might be 10 minutes now. As for me, I feel very honored that this university has decided to confer upon me the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. I consider it a special honor and accept it with a sense of humility. I'm deeply grateful, and from the bottom of my heart, I say thank you to those who nominated me for this honor. I deeply appreciate their initiative. I also wish to express my gratitude and appreciation to the Senate and Council of this university for voting in favor of conferring this degree upon me. Thank you too to my wife, Umam Tembu, who is here with me to witness this special occasion, for her love and support to me all these years. Because she has played and continues to play a very important role in whatever success I achieve. I thank my children too, who could not be here, for their support and understanding over the years when I could not spend as much time with them as I would have liked and as they would have liked. But I think I must also take this opportunity on this day to once again acknowledge the role played by other people in my life along the way. Mr. Bucks, who is now late, unfortunately, is the man who helped me when I needed to go to university, and ensured that every month my family would have enough groceries to go on. Unfortunately, he passed on during the period of COVID. But also, I think I must take this opportunity to thank Mrs. Victoria Mklenge, the late, who gave me articles of clerkship at a time when I found it very difficult to get articles, because she showed a lot of confidence in me at that young age, and as I was entering the profession, and gave me the responsibility of starting a labor law department in her firm, even though I was doing articles. And that act on her part of showing me such confidence played a very important role in my later professional life, because she trusted me and had confidence in me when really she had no grounds to have such confidence in an article clerk. But I must also thank my own mother, who is late now, who emphasized the need and importance of education and sacrificed a lot to make sure that I went to school. Had she not taken out all her savings to make sure that I went to boarding school, I would not have met the principal of the boarding school, who enabled me to obtain bursaries that helped me to continue throughout boarding school and beyond. So on this occasion, I reflect on the role that my mother played as well, and remain grateful to her. When the Vice-Chancellor, Prof. Mabizela, called me to break the news that this university was offering to confer this degree on me, the news came as a complete surprise to me, because it was not something that was on my mind, and nobody had even whispered to me that there was such a possibility. But because of the place that is occupied by this university, because of its reputation, because of the respect it commands internationally, I did not take long to accept. I accepted immediately. I've been asked to say a few remarks and to take 15 minutes, and I think it's 10 minutes or less that is left now, and I want to use that time. To talk about the significance of the independence of the judiciary. Obviously, because of time constraints, one cannot engage in academic analysis of the Constitution, of any articles or works to deal with this subject. But I want to deal with it from the context of the role that is played by the judiciary in our constitutional democracy. The dark history of apartheid and the experiences of many people who were at the receiving end of apartheid naturally drove many political organizations who were part of the multi-party negotiations that led to our constitutional democracy to agree that one of the principles on which our constitution would be based would be an appropriately qualified, independent, and impartial judiciary. That was Constitutional Principle 7, seeking to ensure that South Africa would have an independent judiciary, was aimed at ensuring not only that judges would decide cases fairly and impartially, but also that the judiciary would be able to protect, defend, and uphold the Constitution and decide cases without fear, favor, or prejudice. Very often, people ask me the question, given the events of recent years against the judiciary, how can we be sure that the judiciary in South Africa is going to be strong enough to withstand all the pressures and the challenges that we can see lie ahead for our constitutional democracy? My answer to that question is always this. I believe from the bottom of my heart that the judiciary of South Africa is strong enough to withstand whatever pressures may be placed upon it to decide cases other than in accordance with the oath of office that judges take when they get appointed. And I say to them, if one looks at the recent history, the past few years in our constitutional democracy, one will see that the judiciary of South Africa has, even under extreme pressures, withstood its ground and decided cases the way they should be decided. Part of the strength of the judiciary would be the personal courage of each judge. But apart from the personal courage of each judge, obviously, and the integrity of each judge, there are the constitutional protections that are there which assist with the independence of the judiciary. I'm not going to talk today about the institutional independence of the judiciary. I'm going to talk only about the personal independence of the judiciary. And that is the ability of judges to decide cases in accordance with their oath of office, no matter what. I believe that if you have regard to cases such as the Treatment Action Campaign, when you have regard to cases such as the Nkandla judgment, when you have regard to cases recently involving the State Capture Commission, you are bound to say the record of this judiciary is a record on which South Africans can rely to say the judiciary will play its role. And when one has regard to the constitutional protections which enable judges to exercise personal independence, one needs to look at three phases of the judiciary life, of a judge's life: the appointment process, during tenure as a judge, and removal. The appointment process of judges in South Africa is very transparent in order to make sure that whoever is appointed during broad daylight, and other people, the public, can assess the abilities of that candidate. Everyone can comment and indicate if a particular candidate is not good enough. But apart from that, once you are appointed as a judge, the Constitution says your salary and benefits cannot be reduced. Because if they could be reduced, obviously, whoever has the power to reduce them could pose a threat, because they could threaten to reduce your salaries. But apart from that, the Constitution also ensures that when it comes to matters of discipline for judges, there is a structure which is composed of judges which deals with disciplinary matters against judges, the Judicial Conduct Committee. And when you look at that structure, you will see that even against other judges, judges of that committee give judgments in disciplinary matters without fear or favor or prejudice. There is no saying, because this is a judge, we are going to apply a different standard than we should apply. Indeed, judges can be harsh against each other. You will recall that in 2011, in the matter of Justice Alliance, the judges of the Constitutional Court had to deal with a matter involving the then Chief Justice Ngobo, about the extension of his term, and they decided the matter against him. I myself have been criticized by justices of the Constitutional Court as chairperson of the Commission. So the commitment of judges to deciding cases without fear of favor or prejudice is there for all to see. And our Constitution, when it comes to the removal of judges, makes sure that it's not an easy thing to remove a judge. At a substantive level, you can only remove a judge from his position or her position if he is guilty of gross misconduct or gross incompetence or he is incapacitated. It's not enough to say he is guilty of misconduct. It must be gross misconduct. It's not enough to say he's not competent. He must be grossly incompetent. But on top of that, even if you have got all of that, you've got to get the National Assembly to vote, to have 2/3 of their members voting in favor of removing a judge before you can remove a judge from office. I mention all of these to say, when my answer to those who ask the question, is the judiciary of South Africa sufficiently strong and independent to withstand the challenges that we can see are coming in the future? When my answer is yes, it is based on the protections that the Constitution gives. It is based on the track record of the judiciary, and it is based on the fact that the judiciary of South Africa is made up of judges who have integrity. I think that when one has regard to all of that, we must be hopeful that this judiciary will in the future play the kind of role that it has played in the past to defend our constitutional democracy, to uphold the Constitution, and to uphold the rule of law. I have no doubt that certainly during my term of office, that this judiciary will remain like that. But I have no doubt, too, that those who will come after me will follow in the same track. This judiciary knows that this constitutional democracy needs to be protected, and it must lead the way in protecting it. Thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Bachelor of Pharmacy on the following candidates. Leanne Akenbom Aqua with distinction. Marilele Treasure Enoch Banda with distinction. Lesedi Chipomo with distinction. Munyarazi Chiwundura. Andiswa Kribi. Nobani Matthew Dabengwa. Tuletu Daua. Mvuselelo Dlamini. Sipokazi Kovuza. Tadiwa Karen Zangare with distinction. Sipokazi Bongega Gadunyiswe Dludla with distinction. Zizipho Ziyathandwa Joda. Sophie Ashley Emsley. Nompilo Patience Hadebe. Malekuti Sekhala Khatla. Piwoguhle Sisanda Kanyeza. Nonsigelelo Noguthula Khoza. Kaylee Fitz. Robert Andrew Klopstra. Abdul Gafoor Kokate. Giovanni John Gangan. McLean Cameron Govender with distinction. Nidhi Shreya Govender with distinction. Elisha Govind Semi with distinction. Welile Aubrey Gumede. Shomla Kwakula. Edna Nyaradzo Hoko. Takuzwali Joseph. Daryl Tanaka Kanda with distinction. Hue Shuen Lei. Guguletu Lembete. Nyasha Rose Machipisa with distinction. Tabitha Madziwa. Togozani Makawula. Puti Niwo Mahabo. Luando Makabeni. Kesia Makwata. Nathan Kudagwashe Maki. Florence Dagadzai Makwatsine.